Where's the weirdest place you've masturbated?
I would say just like bathrooms of people's houses.
Yeah.
You ever like stayed with a friend and you're like, I think there's no echo in here.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Girls on Guys. I'm your host, Nina Tar. I'm very hungover. That is right. My birthday was yesterday. When will we release this? We do not know. So you won't know my zodiac sign. How about that? I have great guests joining me today. I have none other than the beautiful, the hilarious, the wonderful Chanel Ali. Chanel is a comedian. She's an actress. She is a writer, and she was on MTV's Girl Code. Very popular show.
Yeah.
So thank you for joining me.
Hell yeah. That was the last season of that show, so we did it.
Our second guest we have joining us today is the wonderful, the hilarious Dave Merheje. He's a comedian. He is an actor. He is in the show Rami, critically acclaimed TV show on Hulu. Fantastic guy. And yeah, and you're Canadian.
Yeah, fucking thank you for having me.
Gabago.
For fucking having me on your show. It's a fucking delight.
We're going to get some slices.
You know, I never really get out of the house, so this is fucking great.
This is especially fun because I'm also an Ali, and we're doing Italian accents. Doesn't make any sense.
I wish that it was novel for me to do an Italian accent, but I have abused my audience so much with the amount of times I've talked like this. I can't help it. I can't do it. Nobody likes it but me.
Because you're Italian.
No. That's the fucked up thing.
I thought you were Italian.
I have been accused of being Italian my entire life.
What's your background?
I'm Persian.
Yeah.
I thought you were joking.
No.
I don't think people joke about that usually.
That would be such a
Like
weird
full
joke.
Persian?
Half.
Ah, who's the half?
Mother.
What do you mix with?
Yeah.
What? Dad's adopted.
Whoa.
But
Well, you know
honestly,
who-
let's be real. Classic, like standard issue white guy.
Really? And
Yeah,
your
straight out
mom's
of the package.
from Iran?
From Tehran. When I did my 23andMe, the glow up is literally just Tehran. I'm 48.9% Iranian. And then it's like a mixture of like Sweden, German, like any white person where they're like, oh my God, it's crazy. I'm Scottish and from Norway. And it's like, that's not.
They're like,
interesting.
I'm European.
Yeah, it's that. So then
Wait
the
a
rest
minute.
is that. But then also like 2% Indian Pakistani.
And then where did your mom migrate to?
So my mother moved to the U.S. during the revolution in Iran.
Where in the U.S.?
She moved originally to New York. She flew to JFK on fucking Thanksgiving 1977.
Whoa.
And then went to Indiana for school. My mother's a scientist. Classic, classic Middle Eastern woman studying medicine.
How did your white dad come into the picture?
He was charming.
Are they on good terms?
Yeah, I mean it's fine. They divorced so long ago. This is it's like decades ago. It's they were together for 13 years.
Oh, so there was like care and love.
Yes,
yeah.
there was a lot of love. But she also married. A big reason she married him is because she had a student visa and then that expired obviously when she wasn't in school no more. So she had to get married, or she couldn't go back to Iran. The country had folded. It was too dangerous for her to go back there because my whole family fled. So they went to. Most of them went to Germany and Switzerland and Italy. But yeah, she was the first, I'm the first person in my family born in the United States.
And and this is a weird question. Your dad handsome?
Yeah.
Or was it? Okay.
Yeah, he's handsome.
He's falling for your dad too.
I think my mom's more cute. I think my mom's like more the baddie.
I trust it. Even the way you did her voice, I was turned on.
Yeah, you were like, damn.
Yeah.
No, Mitra's hot.
Yeah, no, I have no doubts.
You do know, the more you talk, you do look like you pass for Middle Eastern.
Well, now that you're realizing it.
Yeah, you could be like
absolutely.
Lebanese or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you have like an 80s vibe too.
80s Iranian.
80s
The classics.
If you found an old picture, you know them like old pictures you
Yes.
see where you're like, man, like it's fine. It's great. It's not. It's a
amazing. You've
compliment.
been here
It's funny
before.
that you think that I would joke about being like Persian, which is like not. It's like also kind of a rare. Like there's
Right.
not that many Iranians. Like we're like an ethnic minority. Like because in in the U.S. There's only like. It's kind of crazy. There's only like 600,000 Iranians in the United States.
Yeah, I mean,
It's like a little over 500,000 in the entire country.
there's a lot
Yeah.
in Toronto, and then obviously LA.
Yes.
There's Iranian comedians. I guess I was just like when I said I thought you were joking around is because I like making fun of Iranians, like being being Lebanese. I don't know.
They're the same. I feel like Turkish, Lebanese, Iranians, even Iraqi, like
You think all the same,
very similar cultures.
but they get offended though. Some will get offended if you're like,
It
hey,
depends.
Absolutely.
Like if my mother is so ardently like we're not like Saudi Arabia different.
so that she says that then, yeah.
Yes, and I'm like, yeah, like I think a lot of people can agree, but she's like, but like Kurdish people, like Kurdistan, same thing. She's like, if you're Kurdish, it's Iranian. It's a similar culture, but also she says the same shit about like Greek people, and
Did
like
she say
in
the same?
Italian. I think Italians, Greeks, even Persians, like people think I'm Italian, and I think it's because I'm just like. I just talk loud and
Yeah,
a
we
lot.
talk
Yeah.
the same kind of like.
Yeah.
But
You know.
Iranians are always like big watch guys. You know, they always got like fucking like my uncle is like very into gadgets.
Yeah.
But they love
All that shit.
style. I feel like they're flashy. They love flash.
But like flashing the way that Donald Trump is flashy.
you mean the older heads?
Like my uncle Farid, like is very like, bro, I got this Tesla and I made sure it came with the the Bluetooth speaker.
Yeah.
You hear this bass?
But I mean, would you say?
I'm again turned on by this.
but all old.
If you could just
Have
do
you
all of
dated-
your family members,
Yeah.
so that I could rank them.
Yeah, you're like I am super.
Yeah, he
down
has
to
a
get
watch.
gangbanged by
He has
them.
a watch
I
and
mean,
a
the
car.
older
Oh my
Arab
God.
guys, I mean, are all flat, right? They love flat. Well, I mean, they just love, even young, I guess, love style and flash, no?
I would say the style and flash that they like though is like Trump vibes.
It's very much gold.
Yeah.
Yeah, they love the gold. By the way, yesterday I went to Bergdorf's because it was my birthday.
Yeah.
Wait, what's Bergdorf's? Am I saying it?
That's pretty close.
Bergdorf's.
Bergdorf's?
It's like fucking Saks. It's like Saks Fifth Avenue.
It's a fancy
Very
department
fancy.
store. Has a lot of different things.
It's a clothing
It's
store.
a clothing store
Yeah.
that
I
has
thought
like
it was a burger store.
But
Like an
it's-
elegant burger store.
No, no,
fucking
it's
guy.
much.
honestly.
I know.
I'm not patient.
Wait, what the hell?
I fucking
For
zero
what?
patience for
You did
this.
2 accents
How did
already,
I-
and you gotta commit. You know?
How?
I thought it was a burger store. Anyway,
You know how New
you
York
telling me
is.
at Burger Goodman's you can't get a good burger?
How do I know what if I don't
City
know
has
what it is?
changed.
So it's an upscale clothing place.
Yes, it's just like a department store where they have like Louis Vuitton and like Gucci and fucking
Yeah.
like Prada. all that
Scarves.
shit.
You can go there to get really nice
yeah,
scarves.
if you want to buy a $5,000 scarf.
Did you buy anything?
I did. I got some shoes. But anyway, the only reason I bring it up, is because it's right next to Trump Tower.
Oh.
And I was like, let's go in. Let's look at this fucking place. Trump Tower is one of the craziest places I've ever been to in my life.
What did they do?
Okay, so the people that work there, the hostess at like the restaurant that's called the 45 because he was the 45th president, is wearing a MAGA hat.
What?
They-
Still?
Not
Yes,
with my
bro.
food.
And there's photos all over the wall of him, but they're all in black and white. I think what they're trying to do psychologically is just embed in your brain that he is a historical figure. Because it's literally
Oh.
photos of him shaking like King Jong-il's hand.
But it's
And
like recent.
Yes.
And it's like black.
All
Yeah, that's
black and
psychotic.
white. It's so weird. The craziest thing is, so there is a book called Trump Tower that was allegedly Donald Trump's first novel ever.
He wrote a novel?
You didn't learn this yesterday.
I
right?
learned all this yesterday.
Okay.
I didn't even know he wrote a novel.
He wrote a novel called Trump Tower in 2011. Okay. And it is an erotic novel.
What does that mean?
I swear to fucking God, I will Wikipedia it for you. Then it came out that he actually didn't write it. He had a ghostwriter write it. And then the ghostwriter was like, actually, fuck you. It's my book now. And then so it says like presented by Donald Trump, and then the actual writer's name, and then the back of the book. The one of the quotes from it is that like it's an amazing novel, blah 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 blah, is a quote by Donald Trump.
This guy
is reviewing the book.
He's like, I read it. It sounds like good.
It's a maniac.
It is a book that takes place in Trump Tower, and it has a lot of. It's very much in the style of 50 Shades of Grey.
Do you think you're also in an alternative world when you step in? Does it feel like that?
Was there music playing? Could you hear echoes?
No. I could. It was. People were taking photos outside of it. I don't know if they were just trolling. There is a 2 police officers that are there 24/7 guarding it. I'm sure because people try to probably throw Molotov cocktails in there.
What's the clientele in the restaurant like from what you saw?
I don't want to judge, but let's just say they look like they were missing some chromosomes. Okay, they were they were not attractive.
Fair enough.
They look like Duck Dynasty people.
Wait,
The men and the women.
Trump Tower also is like a hotel too, right?
So the Trump Hotel is in Las Vegas. Trump Tower, people live there,
Yeah, it's
bro.
residences.
So how many? This is what I'm kind of fucking flabbergasted by. How many wealthy Republicans live in New York that want to live in Trump Tower? Like, is
it's like condos, basically.
Yeah. I also saw a TikTok of it the other day, and they were showing the inside of one, and it's looking like Section 8 housing. It's like these were built a long time ago. They're not nice.
Really?
It's not modern.
Oh wow! I thought you said some TikTokers live there.
No. I was just that was a video I saw. Somebody was taking a tour of one of the empty apartments.
What if you went home with a guy? What if you met a guy out at a bar?
Yeah.
And you're like, this guy's fucking hot.
Yeah.
He's so charming. He's so fucking cool. And then he goes, hey, Chanel, I want you to come over to my place tonight.
Oh.
I want to eat your pussy.
Oh my God. This guy gets me.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, that sounds fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
And he's like, great, I'll get us a car. And you arrive at Trump Tower. What do you do?
Well, I'm going to hold my laughter and try to get in there hardcore. You know? Take me up there. Let's go. Immediately. Immediately take me up there.
Have you guys...
I'm going to steal from him, but like really odd things.
I'm
like
going to get my pussy eaten.
Absolutely. But while he's asleep after, I'm going to get all the batteries out of his, fire alarms.
You're going to inconvenience him. You're going to do some hijinks.
Something crazy so that he feels crazier in the crazy place that he lives.
Okay.
And also, like, plausible deniability, where I'm like, I would never do. What are you asking me about?
Question for both of y'all. Have you ever fucked somebody that you're like, this person's evil, but I'll do it?
Evil.
Or a bad person?
Yes.
You're like, this
Bad
is a
person. But I don't know about
bad person,
evil.
yeah, bad person,
I mean,
yeah.
I met this lady and we invited her to smoke. Like, we were all smoking shisha and we're all hanging out. And it's a pretty multicultural group of people we were with. And then somebody had asked her where she was from, and somewhere it's like Orange County or something like that. And then somebody said, the home of like the Ku Klux Klan. And then I think at some point she's like, yeah, but they're not that bad. And she was
classic.
like Middle Eastern. And then we thought she was joking, and then it kept getting worse. And she's like, no, I grew up with some of them. And then, but as she's like telling this story, I'm like smoking the shisha. She's rubbing my back, but I don't even know her that well. It's like the first time I met her. So it kind of looks like I'm like, do you know what I mean? Like we're a unit. And I was like, this is I don't condone any of this. But
she's a Middle Eastern woman who's like, hey,
Muslim.
the KKK, Muslim woman.
Yeah.
Who's like, KKK is OKK with me.
They had some
Kinda
good
like,
ideas.
yeah.
She's like, they
And
had
we
some
were
good
just-
ideas.
we
I like the
kept-
fits.
She's like, they could diversify with the colors,
I
but
don't know. There's like that drapey kind of like
It
fabric.
is.
It's very Halston.
There's a Venn diagram for KKK uniforms, unfortunately, and any type of dress, really.
I mean, I think that though the reason why that happened. So I grew up in Orange County. My mother
Or
still
somewhere
lives there.
around there. I don't know if it's exactly there.
There is a kind of it's sad. I think what happens is that there's kind of this like apologist attitude toward the people that are bigoted against you in order for you to just feel comfortable in your environment. Like my mother's neighbors are full racist. Like literally my mother like was there for, I don't know, for a day of a barbecue or something. And they said something about how like well, this Muslim ban, on the countries. Like, I'm so happy. Thank God, like, Donald Trump is doing it. And then my mom's like, do you know I'm from Iran? And that's one of the countries on the list. And she goes, oh, no, but you're different.
You live over here.
Yeah, no, but you're different.
You made it past the
I
ban.
always see you recycle.
She's also like, as you can tell, I'm pretty fucking white. My mother is full Iranian, like looks, you could be like, she's Greek. She doesn't look, it's not that dark. Anyway. So I'm telling my mom, like, that's terrible. You could never go to this person's house again. She's a fucking bigot. Like, she's fucking racist.
Yeah.
My mom is just like, oh, no, she doesn't, like, it's okay. Like, she's fine. Like, she's not a bad person. She's just ignorant. But it's like, oh, you have to, like, even my mother has dated men that are, like, fucking Trump supporters, like, into having guns.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, I don't want to judge them.
What?
And I'm like, why? They don't like you, bro. They literally, if they could choose, they'd be like, hey, should we kill this woman? They'd be like, yes, we would love that.
Do you think they were dating her kind of ironically? They were like, oh, she's hot, but like, her accent is thick.
Yeah, I don't fucking know, dude.
Or they just they're insane. I don't know. I mean, we were like, so we just kept asking. I mean, I didn't really ask questions because I was so embarrassed, and I was like, and it just because I
did you hook up with her?
No, because then she got in a Lyft or Uber and left, and we were like, what just? We were just all like
awestruck,
just confused. We were not, and it just, I don't know. We just didn't know what to make of it in a sense. But yeah, no, I didn't. I was like, I can't. This is.
So you didn't even like follow her on Instagram.
Follow?
Yeah.
No, we had been following each other.
Oh, so you already knew her?
Yeah, I knew her.
Oh.
I knew her like from like I never met her in person.
But she had never shared opinions.
You guys have never hate fucked anyone.
Maybe when I was in high school.
I
Like
didn't
my
really
ex-boyfriend, like
fuck in
my
high school,
first boyfriend from high school. We had like a messy breakup, and then I saw him at a party, and he was so drunk, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe we're bumping into each other. And so I like took him in a back room, and like he just passed out. But
so you raped somebody?
No, he passed out.
Won't admit on
no,
the
let
show
me finish.
I've been hate fucked. I think.
No, let me finish. Let me finish. No, so I put the condom on him, and then he was asleep, and so then I just left. I just left the room, and so the next day he called me, and he's like, "My shit is fucked up. I was like fully erect. You put that condom on me. It was my Johnson is fucked up all night." Yeah, we were young.
I mean, we
did. I wanted to hate fuck him, but he passed out. So instead, I just left him awkward with questions.
I think I was, but I mean, I don't hold it against the person.
In what capacity?
We were dating on and off for 6 years. I was being a piece of shit at some point, many points, and I went to see her, I think, at work, or we met up at a place where she knew the bar, and we both got wasted, but I wasn't planning on doing anything sexually. And then I don't remember. I remember waking up naked, and she's like putting her clothes on to go to work, and I was like, yo, like what happened? She's like, what do you mean what happened? Like that's.
She's like, get your fucking pants.
And I was like, she knows that I need to like. I was like, I always wear a condom because I was like worried about just everything in a sense, and I was like, did I use a condom? She goes, but she's putting her clothes on, but like on a. She's like, no. Like, and I'm just
she's like no.
The most vulnerable state, butt ass naked. I go, what do you mean? What do you mean? You know that? And I'm like, and then she goes, I'm going to work. And then I was like, you gotta do something. You gotta get like a plan B. And then she stops the door. She turns, she goes, you want me to get it? And I'm like, no, I just don't know. She goes, I'm not gonna get it. And then I just started crying.
Because you thought you were going to be like,
you thought
so then I took
your life was over.
And I went like not like a normal
child.
cry. I think I went like and then she's like, "Are you crying?" And I go, "Yeah." And then she goes, "Fine." And then she went and got the plan.
That was really tense, though.
I
oh my
god! Then she said no.
Yeah.
So then I grabbed the heavy object.
No.
And bashed her.
I thought he was gonna say, "And here's my
Murdered
son."
her.
But then
I thought he was gonna bring him in.
Bring him out.
I did a set
story.
at night and told that story, and she knew all the comedians, and she was in the back of the room, and I think I said I go, and then I bought the plan B, and then from the back she goes, I bought it, and then like everyone knew who she was.
Now
and
she's
pop.
disrespectful. Now she's interfering with art, and I don't.
I mean, she got a bigger pop.
Of course she did.
Yeah, she stole your
Of
thunder.
course she did. That's
She
hilarious.
stole your fucking punchline.
Maybe you
dude.
should have let her have your kid.
She is very funny. I mean, the kid would be funny, but I felt that was like a revenge for her.
Oh yeah.
And she
That's a
probably
violation for sure. I mean, that's a huge.
The fact that she was like continuing to get ready while you are having a whole meltdown that's how you know.
But it was very funny. Now that I
I'm
look back.
sure. I'm sure it was hilarious.
So I've been revenge
fucked.
fucked.
I don't even know if I have been. I've had sex with people that I'm like, this guy definitely has bad politics. You know what I mean? Like,
Like
I'm
politics, like he doesn't recycle, or bad politics.
bad. Like this guy probably is like, I don't think we should have Section 8 housing.
They need to just move.
No, it's just crazy because you see these people. They're on the street. They're begging. And it's like, it's kind of insane.
Wait, let me ask you what.
I'm going to be honest with you. I have no sympathy or empathy.
And then they take another sip of their cocktail.
Yeah.
Is this happening and you are sober and then you get drunk and then you go have sex? Or is it like after sex he exposes himself?
Both. I've done both. I've done like meet somebody out and then like I'm like, this guy has kind of like a Patrick Bateman vibe to him, but he is so handsome and I'm just gonna have sex with him and that's what it'll be. And then the more he talks, I'm like, this is maybe a bad guy. And then you see like a Jordan Peterson book on his fucking like bookshelf. And then you're like, but I'm already here.
Yeah.
And then so you just do it. And that's all it
And then you
is.
just leave.
It's a physical action.
Yeah.
And afterward, I did hook up with the guy the next day. And I had such a great time. The next day, he took me out to breakfast. And then he told me that he said something about how female comedians, they want to be treated like equally, but why are they having exclusive like all female lineups? That doesn't seem fair. And I'm like, well, it's because historically we haven't really gotten the same privilege to perform as much as men do.
You tried to do some
And then
rationale.
he goes, let me finish. And I was just
Okay,
like,
man.
and then I was just like, oh, I'm just not gonna say. I'm not gonna even waste my breath. So I just go like, and I just listened to him say the most vile, stupid, ignorant shit. And I go, cool, great. Like, let's get the check and bounce. He gets the check. He walks into my car. He's like, super excited to see you again. I'm like, for sure. Have a great day. And then as I get in my car, I blocked his number and I never saw him ever
Oh,
again.
shit, that's amazing. So you never were like, do you ever text them like, hey, man, this didn't work out?
That's not my job.
Yeah.
I
No, I
don't
hear you.
have, it's not my job. I think that some people do like ghosting. Some people deserve, to me, I don't, when I was single, I didn't really like to ghost because I don't think it's polite.
Yeah.
But it depended, if you are not polite to me, if you disrespect me, why am I going to fucking give
And
you
I think
respect?
that type of guy, a guy who's comfortable saying those type of harsh opinions so early in a interaction with a woman, like
Knowing I'm a
he's
female
not
comedian.
gonna take rejection well. So when you tell him and you take an extra step to say like, hey, you know, I actually don't want to go out again and blah, blah, blah. He's going to be like, oh, you fucking fat bitch.
Yes.
I'm so happy you said that because I'm fucking a bitch right now and she's skinny.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, dude, she doesn't actually talk as much as you do. Thank fucking God.
It's crazy. It's like, she's not trying to fucking be funny like you.
Yeah, dude.
But and also these guys could be probably super delusional in the sense where you walked away and then they're like, what? I was making sense, which is even crazier to me.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
I think too, it's like, what's the point of me rejecting him? He's going to understand he was rejected when he texts me and it goes green and it's not received. And he goes, oh fuck, she blocked me.
Yeah.
Whatever. And he can think whatever he wants. It's really not my responsibility. The only time I would tell somebody like, okay, no, let's say I went on a date with a dude. He took me out to dinner. I wasn't really feeling it, but he was a nice guy, but I'm just not interested. He hits me up again. I'm not going to ghost that guy. I think that's pretty rude. I'll just be like, hey, thanks. It was really nice to get to know you. I don't really think we're on the same page.
Right.
Like, all right, it's like, but I really wish you the best. Almost every time I've sent that to a guy who's like been nice, has been like, hey, thank you so much for communicating with me. Like, have like you too, like all the best. So if you are an asshole to me, and like I don't need to explain to you that you're a fucking asshole, because then you could be like, well, actually,
Yeah.
technically, I'm not an asshole or something.
They're gonna be like,
And
I can call 4 women right now that'll tell you that I'm a nice guy.
yeah.
Can I say though, if it would have been cool if like when you got in the Lyft or the Uber and then you blocked them and drove off, like it was a bit windy and a like a flyer landed on his face, but then when he took it off, it was an all-female lineup.
Wow. And that's
Would've been
why he's
lovely.
the writer.
That would have
And
been
that
lovely.
is a beautiful sketch. I
Yeah.
No,
love
I'm not
that.
a writer.
I don't
You don't be
write.
writing?
No, actually, I should write, but I don't. I don't think I don't like. I don't think I've ever had a
You write
writer's job.
jokes.
Write
Yeah.
jokes, but like a writing job. I don't actually write it fully down, which I should do more. It's more of like point forms.
Yeah.
I mean, I should probably write more. I used to write.
But that's
Our
when you're
brains,
nervous,
our brains
I
get
think.
better, and
Yeah.
then we don't need to write every word. We
I
just,
know, but
we
even,
just start to
like-
know it.
I mean, it helps. It should help because like my grammar is awful. So it's like I'm constantly getting corrected for the yours, and I snap in my head. So it's like doesn't look good if you're sending it to someone and you're like, this guy's wheres are all off, his thens are crazy. Is yours?
They're like, this pilot is wild.
Yeah, dude, Dr. Seuss over
Yeah.
here. Man.
Sometimes someone texts me, he's like, dude, why'd you space your period? I go, I don't know.
I always put them over there. That's something
I
I
just
always
think they
did.
should be like over there.
Yeah.
You know?
A deranged person. So now I have somebody always double check. But I could.
I thought you were going to say that's a dramatic pause, actually.
I
do it at a
literally
purpose,
like
period.
always had to get corrected for writing niece. Like I
Writing
think it was
what?
Natalie Akar. She messaged me. She's like, Dave, you spelled niece wrong. I go, fuck. Like on Instagram.
Oh, like an aunt and an uncle.
Yeah,
a
like
nephew
niece.
and a
Like I
niece.
spelled like the E and the I got.
That's a hard word, though.
I think we should snap into some questions. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Snap
we got
us
some good
in.
ones. I got actually quite a few. So we're gonna go through this one. This is slightly apropos to what we were talking about kind of before, just in terms of different cultures. Somebody wrote in, said, sex and dating experience with people from different countries and cultures. Any experience?
What does apropos mean?
Like appropriate, apropos.
Apropos.
Wow, bro.
He said it. He said
Wow,
it.
bro.
He said it kind of strange.
Wow,
the way he
bro.
said it.
No, okay. How many times people use that? Do they use that word a lot?
You know,
Chanel's
Pretty-
weirdly gonna kind of
pretty often.
probably
Pretty
support
often?
me
Yeah.
on this one.
No,
Fine,
pretty
sorry.
often, pretty
Sorry,
often,
go
yeah.
ahead. I didn't.
That's
Apropos. Okay.
So is that your answer? to
Did
the
have I
question?
have I had sex with people from other countries?
I mean, and cultures. Apparently, I say apropos. That's not culturally relevant to you. That just threw you the fuck
that
off.
threw me off. Yeah, I would. That threw me.
Well, it just sounds like the woman that was rubbing your back, that is a Middle Eastern woman who then also is like, the bigots, they're actually chill.
but I think she's from America.
yeah,
But she's other-
is Muslim.
Obviously, she's from America.
But I mean, we're the same culture. Me and her, we're Lebanese. I think she was Lebanese. But I've had sex with people definitely from other cultures.
How
Is
is
like-
it?
I mean, is white counts as another like white
Absolutely.
ladies?
Yeah, absolutely.
How is it?
Yeah, like what's like, I don't know. Have you ever had an experience where you're like, oh, this is something I didn't know, that like romantically, like I've only been friends with maybe, let's say, Korean people. And then once I dated a Korean girl, I was like, I did not expect this. You know, like, so, there's,
I feel like white guys play inappropriate music during sex.
Like what? Like
Yeah, like Outkast, and like they're like some type of hip hop cuts that just aren't really.
like they're playing like
They're
a
not
Dipset
apropos.
song?
I thought you were going to say they play like
Apropos.
John Fogerty or something like that. And I'm like,
fucking Slipknot. Just- yeah, I definitely noticed that. I was like, dang, this playlist is getting crazy.
I mean, like, did they put it on before? Obviously.
Yeah. And like they have certain songs that they just like really they want to hear the song every single time. And I honestly think it might be like manipulation. Like they're just trying to ruin music for certain people. I don't know. But
I mean, I think I just put R&B on, maybe.
that's smart, and I'm proud of you.
It's-
That bit.
yeah, that's all. I think that's the
Keep it up.
only.
like D'Angelo.
I mean, it could be. It varies.
Yes.
But it just feels like it would be the I mean, tone wise, that would be the best. If we're looking at it logically.
See, I'm like an indie bitch, and so I put on like fucking like pretentious like Leonard Cohen or something like that.
But that's even not bad. That the tone is still like, nothing.
Sexy singer-songwriter shit.
Yeah.
You don't want to do, the worst is to do something like Rat-a-tat, where it's like weird like drum signatures, where it's like, and then you're like, oh, how do you fuck to this? I'm also very no music during sex.
Oh,
that
yeah?
too
That's
is
a
like,
rule?
yeah.
I just, most of the time, I like no music during sex, because then if not, I have a sex playlist. Every song in there is vetted. It's good.
Yeah.
Because you can't just do a random shuffle
No,
on a playlist
no.
or some weird thing.
You
like
gotta
an
be
intro
responsible.
will come on where it's like, ladies and gentlemen, we are welcome to the fabulous Bagonettes or whatever. And then you're like, what the fuck's going on here?
I think I
Yeah.
couldn't put it on shuffle because at one point the DMX prayer would come on.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And I don't want that.
All
That would
types
be-
of interludes, R. Kelly's
Yeah.
could slip in there. It's
Yeah, like
just-
weird phone calls they have is like intro,
Yes.
like voicemails.
Eminem, like Eminem and Rosenberg.
Eminem would be the worst music to fuck to. That
Yeah.
sounds terrible. I mean, I have dated, experienced dating with people in different cultures, countries. I thought about this because this is kind of weird to me. You know how, Bad Bunny and Kendall Jenner are dating?
Bad Bunny, bye bye. Is that his tag? Yeah.
Yeah. And do you know that? So I didn't know this. So he doesn't speak English super well.
Yeah.
She doesn't speak Spanish.
Right.
So how does that happen?
Did they write notes?
I don't fucking know. That's what I'm asking. I'm like, that's kind of weird that they're dating. Like, there is such a language barrier there. I mean, granted, they're both sexy as fuck.
I was
So I'm
going to
like,
say they mostly just look at each other, probably.
Yeah.
he probably just fuck.
Yeah. And once she learned, like, Bonita, she was like, wow, he said I'm pretty.
Maybe they do mime work together. Or like
They do charades to
They have
communicate.
a crazy
do act
tech-
outs.
They have a translator.
Yeah, dude, imagine Bad Bunny doing act outs the whole like at a-
Honestly, as a Kardashian, she might have a
Yes.
translator because you could
Yeah.
just afford one 24/7.
Or just like every other day, and he comes in and he's like, this is what Bad Bunny said yesterday.
Wow.
you never know.
Could you date somebody that like has a completely different, like, would you convert to a religion for somebody?
I would be open to it. Yeah. As long as they were open to like not judging me for not being perfect at understanding their religion or their culture and like letting me explore it in earnest,
Yeah.
It couldn't be like, you just have to. You just have to. It would have to be like, if you want to experience and learn more about this and you feel connection to it and, you really, really can do without Christmas. Yeah, let's,
I love Christmas though.
Yeah, Christmas is lit.
But it's
Fucking
like
Christmas,
a lot of I feel
So we agree. Christmas, pretty fun.
It's just a good vibe. It's fun.
We're party animals.
I like Christmas music.
Me too.
best.
Yeah, dude. I like
It's-
the food. I like the Christmas
hot
food.
chocolate.
I like
Eggnog,
that
All
shit.
of it is like
It's great.
reindeer.
I would convert like for, because I would say if it was definitely like the parents of the person who's like, this guy's Jewish and it's like, my mother is super, like, she will not allow me, like, you could only convert, it's the only way it's going to work. I'd be like, you know what? Like, to respect your family and their wishes, like, why the fuck not? I was also raised like non-secular, so it's like I have no tether to
Same.
any sort of religion. So I think if it really mattered to somebody, I wouldn't really care.
I also come from a mixed bag. Like on my mom's side, my grandfather was Muslim, and my grandmother was Jewish, and then on my dad's side, they're West African. So there's lots of different religions. So it's
Doesn't matter too much.
I
find-
feel connected to a lot
Yeah.
of them, and I do understand a lot of spirituality. So yeah, I think with some good love, you could convince me to love your God.
But I find even like the girls I talk to, a lot of them aren't really super religious anyways. Like I don't think a lot. I don't know if it's changed, but I find the last little while at least like there's not a faith or even a spirituality. It's like it just seems like it's almost not corny, but they'll just be like, oh, you believe in that, and then you're like, I mean.
We
Yeah.
have been praying about it. We have been doing it
We gotta
pretty
wrap
often.
pretty soon. Unfortunately, I know this is like flown by, but I want to get through. I really like this question,
Hit it.
so it's fun. Where's the weirdest place you've masturbated?
I would say just like bathrooms of people's houses.
Yeah.
You ever like stayed with a friend and you're like, I think there's no echo in here.
Man, I used to think I was alone, and then I was at a buddy's long time ago, and then I did that, and I felt so guilty. And I remember I was like, I have to tell him.
Why the fuck would you do
This
that?
is why
I have to tell him.
That's so much weirder.
this
yeah,
is.
and I
That's
went out.
almost ruder.
I know, and I was
I would
like,
be like,
That's, like, rude.
you did it. You told me, get the fuck out of here,
Why
man.
didn't you just keep it to yourself, you
That's
fucking
crazy.
pervert?
You could have kept this our whole friendship.
Yeah, dude. I don't need to know this
Yeah.
at all.
I know, he was surprisingly cool about it. He goes, nah, it's not a big deal. I go, what do you mean?
Now he's a red flag.
He's like,
now,
well,
who the fuck is this?
It almost sounds like a warning. You're like, hey, before you go in there, I was in there.
I think he said, he's like, man, sometimes you gotta unload. It wasn't like,
Wow, that's a good friend.
yeah, he's a good dude, but he's like a bit older than me too, and I was like so nervous. I was like, yo, so and so, I did this, and he goes, that's what you're all stressed out about? No, he's like, I think we had a sandwich after, like it was
Yeah.
like he welcomed me.
Nice cum
That
sandwich.
brotherhood is
I
tight.
think the weirdest place I masturbated in where I was like felt kind of guilty
Yeah.
is at a massage place. Not but I didn't get I gave myself a happy ending.
Because you were feeling so
were they
loose.
in the room?
No, they left the room. I'm
they
not fucking
finished.
Harvey Weinstein. I'm not fucking Louis C.K.
I don't know.
I was like, that was like, no, he locked the door.
Look at me in my eye.
Yeah, I can only come if you look at me in the eye. You're here. It's your responsibility.
I'm an entertainer.
I paid you. I paid you. You have to be here.
I think it's also like in public, I just don't like whipping. It's just so much steps. It's so much steps.
I did it. Okay,
It's
so
like steps indoors as well, but even that is tiring. But like outdoors, it's like,
yeah, you can't masturbate outside. That feels like a crime. I did it. So on a massage table, you're laying down, okay, and like sometimes they're pressing in their big strong hands, and they'll go get your lower back. Sometimes they massage your butt and your inner thighs, and I'm like, God, my pussy's just getting like fucking pressed against this table, and it's a little like woo 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 feeling, And I'm like, okay, so then, and I'm like so dangerously horny, like violently horny,
Yeah.
because of the massage.
Yes, like
And
I'm
the
so-
ambiance.
It's just sometimes it gets. It's not after every massage, but I did it once. Where like then the guy left the room, and I just was like you take your time to whatever gather your shit, and I was like, I just gotta masturbate real quickly, and I literally just sat on my hand. It took me 30 seconds to masturbate, and then I was like, okay, and I'm like, because if I got caught, I'm like, they would call the police. Like I was like,
Yeah.
they would.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, this is maybe a bad one, but actually I don't want to say this one.
Oh, now I'm
I mean, I
dying
think
to
I'd
know.
call the cops on a dude before.
Yeah, I don't know. I
Yeah,
think
girl, I
actually
would be
they might
like-
respond better than you
Yeah,
think.
they might be like, oh, man, maybe you had a rough day.
They'd be like, who run the world?
Yeah.
They might be also just like,
I'm calling the cops 100% on a dude.
They're like, if you don't do
Yeah.
it again, so everybody can see, we're calling the cops. Lady.
there's some times where you're just naked somewhere and you're like, I don't know why I'm so fucking horny.
Yeah, I don't know if you've ever been to the Sex Museum in New York City.
Oh, that was cool.
That shit made me so horny. I was like, whatever, I go to museums all the time.
Okay, do you think also, I think a really horny place is the grocery store.
I don't feel that way.
I feel that way because we're all walking around being like, what's in your basket? Like, it's always like, I don't know. It's like, oh, like, we're going to.
Ooh,
It's
cashew
like
milk.
intimate. I don't know. Like, you're all forced to be there, but you're like,
I mean, it
going
depends if the nice grocery, if it's an aggressive grocery store, I ain't trying to, like, no, ain't nobody
Trader
trying to.
Joe's has like a nice little
Yeah.
sexy vibe into it. I don't know. Just maybe.
Wegmans be feeling like the singles hang there. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know if you've ever been to a Wegmans.
I haven't
They have a
been.
lot of like single serving meals ready to
That
go.
sounds depressing.
Yeah, I
They got
actually used to
lonely
only
meals.
go there to get my grandmother food. She really liked it.
Nice.
She'd be like, "Was that boy there?" But yeah,
Well, guys, we do have to wrap, but before we go, I always like to ask the guests if you have any questions for me. It could be related to sex, to dating, to the male mind, to the female mind, whatever it may be. Anything you're curious about, anything you're like, hey, why the fuck do broads do this? Anything. So
do you think it's possible that dating is going to get better now that a lot of like terrible dating experiences are being exposed?
great question. I think so, but I think people that are terrible at dates, nobody's trying to be terrible on a date. Everyone is trying their best, and when they're terrible, it's because they're uncomfortable and awkward, and they put their foot in their mouth, or they just are like,
They just don't have communication skills.
yes.
Don't know how to like engage.
I think that the more light gets shed on women, like saying, I had this date, it was terrible, he did XYZ, all of these things, maybe a man can be like, huh, noted, I'll try to avoid that.
Yeah.
I think the more we talk about it, the less it becomes taboo. Hopefully, the more people kind of get like, I'll avoid that. So yeah, maybe some exposure.
Hope so.
David?
So like, have you ever, like, if you're having sex and like it was like passionate and it was a great time and stuff, and then, you know, you leave the room and this person is like feels giddy inside and they're like, this person's amazing, and then you walk back in the room and you're like, hey, what do you think about getting fucking dinner? Have you ever done that?
Yes. I am pretty much like cum.
What do they do?
When cum leaves a man's body, I'm like, now we're back to voices, baby.
But that's what I mean. Does it?
I'll just be like, oh yeah, like, oh, I'm gonna come, fuck yeah. And then after it's done, I'm like, yo, why don't you hand me some of those paper towels so I can wipe the, you know, this got a little silver like reservoir in here. By that I'm talking, my belly button is filled with a shot glass of cum. Anyway, I'm feeling Indian. You guys want it? You want Indian? You want Thai? You want Indian? I'm feeling some sort of like something like that.
Do you do like, is that like a test? Like if the guy's like, oh man, this is the best, and you're like, yo, this
I test the guy was silly.
this is a soldier I want to roll with.
Yeah, my boyfriend is into it. I mean, sometimes not. I think he wishes. I think he wishes I was less like of a ham. I'm like a little too. I'm like, I'm annoying. Like I'm really.
We love
annoying.
you.
I'm.
Yeah, I think it's annoying.
think
It's
I'm
just like,
great.
but you ever do it as a test?
Probably. The fucked up thing is I'm not that smart. I'm not that smart to do it as a test. I just do it because I am.
Can't not.
I'm feeling goofy, and that's just kind of how I express myself. And then I'm like, and if they're into it, I'm like, all right, cool. So that's fine then, right?
So
All right,
you
chill.
can move in.
Yeah, I guess so.
I guess because in Toronto we used to go to this convenience store that had like a restaurant inside of it. Like it was a diner in a convenience store, and it would be like the table would be near cat food. So like we would bring, some of us would bring like a girl that we were like interested in, and if she dug the place, if she got in and sat in, she's like, yo, this is fire. I'm eating next to cat food. We were like, yo, she's dope.
Yeah.
But if she came in and she's like, ew, we're like, oh,
You
man,
and
got-
eating next to cat food, which is a normal person's
Also,
response.
That's
Yeah.
I mean, but we're looking for psychos.
You're looking for a very specific girl, and you're gonna find her. She's gonna be like, "Let's eat this cat food." I don't know. Let's look at-
Sounds good to me. I don't want to culture shame. If that's like in your culture,
Yeah.
that's fine.
She's like, "I'll eat it with my hands." I'm like,
Yeah. Well, do you guys have anything to plug? Chanel, where can they find you?
Oh man, I'm on a show right now on the CW called The Great American Joke Off. They didn't let me name it, but you can also follow me at Chanel Ali. That's Chanel like the perfume, Ali like Muhammad.
Like that. Dave.
They,
Anything to plug? Where can they find you?
You can fucking find me on Instagram, all fucking social medias at Merheje, MERHEJE, and watch Rami on Hulu if you got subscribe. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why I said you know what I'm saying at the end, but
I
that's,
liked it.
That was cute. That was cool. Well, thank you everyone for listening. As always, I love you so fucking much. And thanks again. Toodaloo, baby girls and boys. Bye.